Good evening or good afternoon, wherever you are. This is Today and Now. Today and Now is a TV show which comes to you every Friday. We are always on air on Fridays, 8:30 in the evening, on Sundays and on Tuesday. Today and Now comes from Manchester, New Hampshire. My name is Job Ombati. I want to say Happy New Year to every one of you. Last year we were here on the show. We spoke about many issues, and the Lord is good that we are here again in 2011. This year we are going to start, as we did last year, with prayer and focusing on the issues that are important in our families. Many of us, we were brought up in families where we were taught about God, family, and education, and the community. And this year, we have started our show, as you saw last week, and today. On the show today is a very distinguished gentleman who has come from Massachusetts. His name is Rev.John Gathogo. Welcome to the show, sir.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you for coming to New Hampshire, and thank you for your time. I would like you to, if you can speak briefly to our people and tell them about the All Nation Anglican Church, where you come from and where you are a reverend. If you can say something about it.
Okay. First, I wanted to thank you very much for welcoming me to this show. That I can have the opportunity to introduce myself. All Nations Anglican Church is a diverse, oriented church based in Texas. That is where we have our headquarters.
Oh.
Headed by Patriarch John Gathogo. And we have 18 parishes in North America.
So that your church is big, it's large.
It's large.
18 parishes, that means in different states?
Yeah. We have 3 parishes in South America. We have 2 parishes in Europe.
Wow.
And we have 5 parishes in Asia.
Wow.
And in Africa we have 8 parishes.
And they are all known by that same name?
All Nations Anglican Church. They have different individual names, but under the umbrella of All Nations Anglican Church. For instance, 2 out of 18 are based here in New England.
Okay.
We have a Hope All Nations Anglican Church.
And which state is that?
It is in Massachusetts. Headed by Reverend Horace Kamau. We have the Ezra Devotional Ministries, which I founded 1 year ago.
Wow. How are you doing?
Good.
Anglican Church, I grew up in Kenya, and I knew about the Anglican Church. Can you mention, if you can remind me, the big Anglican Church in Kenya? What's the name of that big church and the big man in charge of that?
Okay. We have the Anglican community, which the Anglican Church of Kenya is a member of the Anglican community. Of late, we have different sections of the Anglican Church.
Is Reverend Timothy Njoya part of the Anglican Church?
I think Reverend Timothy Njoya is of Presbyterian.
Presbyterian. Now, that's where I get confused.
Okay.
The Anglican and the Presbyterian, and then we have the Catholics, and then we have the Protestants,
Exactly.
Seventh-day. Okay, so without going much about that, tell me what you are doing. What is your mission here in New England?
Okay. My mission has 2 phases. The first phase, I would say, is the background phase, which is the All Nations Anglican Church. I have a ministry, which actually does not have a geographical location.
You don't have a geographical location, that means what?
That means
You are all over the world.
all over the world. My parish, world is my parish.
Excellent.
That is, Ezra Devotional Ministries is concerned with the teaching in the internet at the moment.
Oh, teaching
Teaching the Word of God.
How can people get to know or to get to the web where you are?
Okay, I have a website by the name EzraDevotionalMinistries.com.
Let me explain to our viewers. So many people, many of us, we have been brought up either in the church or just believing in a higher power. Many people, as you can read American history, they have been in the church. If you go to Manchester, Manchester City South, on one street, let's say Union Street, you will find so many churches, many of which were built in 1920s. That means there used to be so many people going to churches. But today, when you go to these churches, you get empty pews. The churches are still there, but the population is decreasing. But the fact that people don't go to church does not change the fact that we need God. It does not change the fact that our community needs to be harmonized together by the love of God. And these men of God that we bring to the show, we bring them to talk about spiritual matters, at the same time encourage us to do that which is morally right. So that's why we are talking about this. We are not preaching, and we are not telling anybody to join a church, but we are telling you the things that matter to our community. And I'm so glad Rev. Gathogo is here today. Rev. Gathogo, speak something about our community, our moral fiber, our families. What is going on with our families? Politicians today, they define marriage different ways. Families are becoming something else. According to the Bible, and you being a man of God, what do you see in this situation of our family? What's happening with our families?
Actually, something is not right with our families today.
Something is not right.
It's not right. First of all, I would say something about marriage. Marriage is a divine institution, ordained by God. From the beginning, God created a man, and He created a woman.
So marriage to the Bible is
between a man
and a wife.
And a woman. She becomes a wife.
When they are married.
When they are married. So God caused the man to fall asleep, and that's what you read in the Bible. And He removed one rib and made the woman, and brought the woman to the man.
So the society is changing, and people are dividing marriage in different ways. Many want to be politically correct. But if many people have told me, the young generation, they say, this is the 21st century.
Yes.
Marriage doesn't have to be the same way it used to be 2,000 years ago. What do you say on that?
I would say people change, situations change, but God doesn't change.
If you are listening to this, these are not my words. This is different. He's quoting the Bible that things might change, environment might change, we might be educated, we have big money, we are technologically advanced, but God never changes. If God said marriage is between a man and a woman, it remains the same thing in the 21st century. I don't know what you think about it. If you have a different opinion, write to me. Let us get in touch, and we will get the men of God, they will be able to answer. Many of us are confused. Many of us just go according to the flow. But what does God say, and what does God intend for our lives? Reverend Tikitong, I'm so happy you are here. Our young people, many of them, let me talk about the young people who have come from Africa. They come here, many of them, I know no one comes from Africa unless he's a refugee who never went to high school. You know, people go to high school. When you go to the embassy, you must have a high school diploma before you get a visa. Many of them come here to go to school, and many don't go. What do you think are the challenges? Why they don't go to school, and what can you advise them?
Actually, I would advise everybody who has come to Africa, from Africa to America, has to go to school. That is
That's the big goal.
Yeah. Actually, if you come here, then you meet the challenges of this country, then you fail to go to school, you are not fulfilling your goal. And people go to school to attain education so that they can help our society. So if they don't go to school, then they won't be able to help our society.
And now there are those parents who are watching this from every place, even from Nairobi. What can you say to them, those who are planning to send their children here, those who have not finished high school?
And encourage them to make sure they go to school when they come here.
They should finish school first.
Finish school first.
If they can finish the first degree, then they can come here to get masters.
Well, even from high school they can come here and study. There are many who have come. Actually, I appreciate many young people. They are very hardworking.
And they go to school.
They go to school. It's just a few who drop out and they start working, and they don't accomplish what they came to do.
Now, does the church, the All Nation Anglican Church, does the church have some kind of fund to help those children who are not maybe able to afford, or get them some kind of assistance when they come here? Do you have that provision somewhere?
Actually, we don't have that fund.
You don't have that. How do you help those people who come to you, for example, and say, you know, I came here, I go to school, I can't afford my tuition, and the money I make is just enough for rent. Do they come to you first?
No, I have not seen such cases.
So no, maybe they are well off.
Maybe they are.
I think
they are.
I have seen in my few years I've been in Manchester. I have seen young people who have come. They go to school, and maybe one semester or the other they drop out of school because of the school fees. And many of them have gone back to work for some time. It has taken them long, but still they go back to school. I would suggest, if I can, if the church, like the church you have in Norway, is a big church. Okay. If you can have like a fund, emergency fund, you call it educational fund. So when these students drop out of school, not for a long time, but for a short time, like give them 2 months fee, then they can go work double jobs when they have chance, then they get back to their feet. I think that will be a good thing.
Maybe if that,
do you think that can work?
If that can be organized, that would be fine.
Now, let me ask you something about the Kenya Global Unity. There's this organization called Kenya Global Unity, which I've already had the Secretary General from New Jersey came here last month, and they talked about uniting all Kenyans for the common purpose. I don't know if you have heard about this organization. And if you have, or if you have not, do you think this is a good idea, to unite all Kenyans in the diaspora?
I think it is a good idea, because unity is paramount. Right now, the problems we are facing at home is because people are not united. And the only thing we can offer them from here in the diaspora is being united. If we are united here, we can tell them at home, look, this is the way.
Absolutely.
We have to work together. And we have to think as a people, Kenyan people, not as individuals from either Nairobi or from Rift Valley or wherever we come from. The first thing, we are Kenyans, and we should remain like that. When I meet you, brother, you are a Kenyan, I feel happy about it.
You are home.
Yes.
I want to explain, or at least elaborate on this point. There are those Kenyan officials, some in Florida, some in London, some in Denmark, and of course those ones we have talked to, like Lista Nyaringo and Alex Momanyi, and those are the ones who have come to our show. This is Rev.John Gathogo. Rev. Gathogo has already supported Kenya Global Unity. The reason is, if we are united as Kenyan in diaspora, if we are united, we'll be able to bring some change back home. Because when those parents and brothers and sisters know that we are united, we will speak with one voice and therefore bring positive change to our country. And I'm not only speaking for Kenya.